Hello, dear listeners. We have come to another session of our explanation on composition writing as pertaining Wassce, Ssce, and GCE respectively. So, in this particular lesson, we want to look at marking of Wassce, Ssce, and GCE. We want to look at the hints on how to successfully earn good marks or scores under composition writing. And when we say composition writing, we're talking about the argumentative essay, narrative essay, expository, and descriptive. So also letter writing as part of composition writing. So today we want to look at one of the essay writings and also to give the hints on how to write a very good composition or essay. And under this, when it comes to marking of Wassce, Ssce, GCE, in Wassce paper 1, that is the section A of the paper, each essay is normally marked under 4 groupings. And each of these groupings has its specific marks allocated to it. The various parts of the considered parts of this essay writing are contents, organization, expression, and mechanical accuracy. Each of these we are going to briefly look at. So under contents, it attracts 10 marks, organization 10 marks, expression 20 marks, mechanical accuracy also 10 marks. So everything is summed up to be 50 marks for the composition or the essay writing. So let's take them one by one. Contents. Contents deals with the facts or points the candidate is expected to write about. This content carries 10 marks, as said earlier, in the essay part of the Wassce. This implies that out of the 50 marks allocated for an essay, only 10 is awarded for the relevant point stated in the essay by the students. If candidates are asked to discuss an issue or a subject matter, or let's call it topic, it is advisable to discuss or present about 3 to 4 points and develop them very well and carefully well. 3 or 4 points where discussed may exhaust all the 10 marks awarded by the marking scheme. If the candidate writes only 2 when about 4 points are expected from him, the content marks, that is the marks allocated for the content, will be reduced to 6. So it will be marked out of 5 or 6 marks instead of 10. Make sure you take note of that. This is not to say that the candidate will score 5 or 6 out of 10. Rather, it implies that the examiner will initially deduct 5 or 4 marks from the 10 allocated and then mark the contents out of 5 or 6 marks respectively. On the other hand, candidates should not think that they will score more marks by writing on more points, that is, 6 or 7 or even more. They shouldn't expect that they have more marks, because if they do so, they may not be able to develop or explain each point well to attract full or maximum marks. And also, candidates should therefore note that the system of few points, like a 3 or 4 or 5 points, where elaborated in an essay, is about the best to adopt. That is, you have it in your capability to develop. Candidates are to note also that the points on every essay depend on the trend of the question, that is, the nature of the question as being asked by the examination body. In some cases, depending on the requirements made by the examiner, the question may be one, a single fold question, or double fold question, that is the question in two parts, or even triple folds. So if the question is double fold or triple fold, it calls for spreading or sharing of the 10 marks, that is into 2 or 3. So if the candidate answers only one part of the question instead of all the two, the content will be marked out of 5 or 6 instead of 10 with the double fold question. And what do I mean by double fold is, in some questions, you have a situation whereby it is stated that explain or discuss the causes and solution. That is what is meant by double fold. So if you only take one and discuss, it is probable that the examiner marks you under 5 to 6 other than 10 marks. So if you are able to discuss the two folds of the question, you have your marks, almost full marks, depending on the examiner. That is one. And secondly, candidates should also note that if they deviate from what the question is demanding, they will score 0 for the content. That is, you are twisting the content. If you are asked to write about a particular thing, then you turn the question upside down. An instance is, schooling in urban area is better than rural area. Then you twist the question to be, schooling in rural area is better than urban. You have twisted the question. That is what we are talking about. So under the content, you have 0. I hope this is clear. And in short, candidates should not lose sight of the fact that the content has to do with points in the essay, and for candidates to score very good marks or above average, examiners expect the candidates to furnish the content with, that is, decorate your content, the topic being given or the subject matter being given, with one, facts which are coherent and plausible. Do not what? Exaggerate your points. That is what that means. And secondly, facts which are relevant to the topic, or facts which bear upon the subject and purpose of the composition. Do not go or deviate into something different or from what you are asked to write about. And third view, the facts and ideas which are accurate and purposeful. In case you are writing on something expository, describe or discuss your points in detail and make sure that the facts given in that essay is what? Accurate and also purposeful. Do not just write shabbily. And another point is points which cover the 450 word limit. When you write, do not write to exceed the limit of the words given by the examination body. And if you do, you may not actually be penalized, but the examiner will set or rule the particular area where the word limit is. And anything other than that, you may not have any marks, but you will be marked. And if any error occurs, you might not be as well penalized as pertaining what you wrote. And also note that an excellent presentation attracts 8 or 10, that is the marks given, and very good performance sometimes attracts 7 marks. Credits for 6 marks out of 10 may be awarded for good content. That is, you have 7 or 6 out of 10 for a good content. 5 marks will be considered to be average, and then 4 marks for below average. These are the measures in a examination marking or composition precisely with regard to content in WAEC and Neco English papers. Candidates should note as well that only 3 or 4 well-developed points can make them score 7 or even more out of 10 marks. Now, let's consider a particular uh, good build-up of a point for content with the following example. The question says, write an article to be published in a local newspaper on the importance of television in modern society. Here, the candidate should note that the question is a single fold because it's stating that what? Importance of television. So that is single fold question. And that 4 or maximum of 5 points will be advisable to write on as pertaining this question, provided they will be well explained. So you consider the following points as regarding the question. 1. TV is a source of education only to those who use it wisely. Secondly, TV is a source of information, so also to those of people who use it wisely, not watching BB Naija. And also, number 3, TV serves as a source of entertainment of all sorts that we have. And another one is it facilitates good advertisement for business promotion, which is actually true. So with the above mentioned points, 2 or 3 may be awarded to each point and its explanation or specific detail. So that is that about the contents. That's that about contents. Now let's go to organization. Here, the organization carries 10 marks as well in Wassce. So the organization of an essay or a letter writing covers aspects like conventional forms or features of an essay. That is, what are the things that build up essay writing? And 2, paragraphing. How you are able to observe paragraphs. Some students, when they intend to observe paragraph or paragraphing, they end up having space, and space is different from paragraph. So this depends on the teacher who teaches such a student. Paragraphing is different from spacing. Another thing is logical arrangement of points or marshaled ideas. The way a person is able to arrange the points. If you are asked to talk about your favorite dish, if it is rice, you take it step by step. Any kind of rice, white rice, jollof rice, fried rice, you need to take the steps. Don't start at a place and skip a particular process or procedure to go to another one. That is what is meant by logical arrangement of your points or ideas. And taking them one after the other, what I just said, conventional features. This constitutes the title of the essay, introduction or introductory body, main body, conclusion, address, the date, salutation, subscription or you call it complimentary closing, signature if it is formal, and writer's name and designation. So these are all components of the organization of an essay. So examiners look out for appropriate conventional features for the organization depending on the type of essay the candidate chooses to write. Remember that the features of a letter are different from those of an article or speech. Now to paragraphing, and we are still under organization. Good paragraphing linked or interrupted by connectives or linking words. When we say connectives, we are talking about words like more so, nevertheless, also, notwithstanding, and some others. Those are linking or connectives. And in this, candidates may use either inductive or deductive system of paragraphing. Inductive, this is to say, they open or start their paragraphs with topic sentences which will be developed or expanded with details, or better still, deductive pattern system where you start with details and explanations and end up with a topic sentence. When we say topic sentence, it's something like when we talk about the harmful aspect of social media to students or candidates in school. Usually, in the writing of articles you see online or in the dailies or wherever, they usually start with the topic sentence. And topic sentence means that particular sentence that comes first, under which explanation follows. That is what is meant by topic sentence. So it can be inductive or deductive, that is coming at first, or later it comes after the explanation. I hope this is clear. And both systems can be mixed up in different paragraphs in an essay by a candidate. All these form part of the organization for 10 marks if well used. And the last one under paragraph in the last point there is marshaled ideas, or logical way of arranging the facts or ideas in an essay. A logical arrangement of points or materials, sometimes in chronological order. That is what I just said earlier. If you want to talk about your favorite dish, that is fried rice, you need to take it step by step as it follows. Do not skip any step to go to another. So this is an arrangement of events or the way you present your ideas in order of occurrence, that is first things first, second things second, and so on. For example, if a candidate is writing on another instance now, the day everything went wrong, he should discuss events that happened in the morning, before those of the afternoon, and then in the evening time. That is chronological or sequential arrangement of the ideas. So also take note that candidates should note sometimes in story writing, that is a narrative essay, descriptive or expository, the conventional form of features may not be very necessary. In that case, good paragraphing and logical or chronological arrangement of ideas or points will count a lot for the 10 marks allotted. That is that about organization. And next to expression. This attracts 20 marks. The expression aspect of marking takes 20 and covers the following areas: candidates' ability to express or communicate in the language by using well-linked sentences. 2. Candidates' ability to use straightforward, clear, and accurate sentences, a well-formed sentence. And 3. Use of suitable tenses and vocabulary relevant to the theme, that is, the message has been expressed by the candidates. Also, use of contracted words if the form of essay permits that. E.g., in formal letters, you will be punished for using contracted words. When we say contracted words, when you are to write cannot and you write can't, you'll be penalized for that. because it is a formal or official writing. And another one is the proper use of proverbs. If you are to use idioms, figurative expressions to beef up candidate expressions. If you choose to do that, write it and make sure that you understand the proverb or the idiom that you are using. Another one is variety of sentence, simple, compound, complex sentence, depending on the candidate's capability. If you are good enough, you'll be able to use compound and compound complex. But if you are not, stick with simple tenses. Another point is avoiding the unnecessary usage of so, but, and, especially to start sentences. That is prominent and common to students today. Before they express themselves in two sentences, you hear so like 4 times. That is a very bad habit. And lastly, note that when a candidate deviates in an essay, he may get only a maximum of 8 marks out of a 20 on expression. However, very good candidates may score between 12 to 16 out of 20. 8 or 9 marks may be awarded to a candidate whose performance is considered to be average. So this is about expression. Expression has to do with the ability of a student to flow with any given subject or subject matter to discuss. I hope this is clear. The next, which is the last point there, is mechanical accuracy, from the word mechanic. If you have a car and it needs to be fixed, it means you need to take it to the doctor, that is the engineer, to fix. So this we have in English writing, a situation whereby we have some tools in order to shape your writing composition. So this is one area most candidates score 0 usually. This area carries 10 marks. Offenses against mechanical accuracy carry a penalty of half mark. Once the examiner rings anything, it is half mark. Thus, a candidate in whose essay an examiner detects 16 offenses will get half multiplied by 16. That is 8 deducted from 10 marks from the mechanical accuracy. So, the candidate finally ends up with 2 marks for mechanical accuracy. If over 20 faults are detected, it does not, however, imply that he will lose more than the 10 marks allocated for mechanical accuracy. He would only score 0 for MA even if 30 offenses are detected in his essay. The marks a candidate gets for the mechanical accuracy also depends on the required length of the essay. For instance, if he writes 9 words to a line and he writes 30 lines covering the whole essay, his mechanical accuracy will be marked out of a 30 over 40 multiplied by 10, which is 7. He would then have only 7 marks at his disposal, and that he will be marked out of 7 instead of 10. This implies that if an examiner detects error, that is 10 errors in that same essay, he's going to score 7 to 5. 7 divided by minus 5. That is 2 marks for the mechanical accuracy. In the same way, if a candidate writes half the required length of the essay, its contents will be marked out of 5 instead of 10 for mechanical accuracy. In this case, if the candidate records 10 grammatical mistakes, it will exhaust all the 5 marks and leave the candidate with 0 for mechanical accuracy. I hope this is clear. So, offenses against mechanical accuracy can be seen as use of a wrong tense, e.g., present tense instead of a past tense in its expression. Then, wrong spelling. When you are to write receive, you have RECIEVE instead of a E before I. Then the use of inappropriate punctuation signs and omission of punctuation signs. Where you are to apply, you omit it. It will be ranked as an offense against mechanical accuracy. Misuse of capital and small letters in the expression. Then inconsistency also. And when we say inconsistency, we mean use of both USA without dots and USA with dots. That is inconsistency. If you want to use dot all through if there need be. Do not swing or switch from the one with dots and the one without dots. That is another one. So many things here, and misuse of a modal verbs. Must, will, would, can, could, shall, and some others. Also, wrong use of a preposition. Of, in, with, into. We have many of them. So this needs to be checked by the candidates writing or preparing for any of the examinations. And here we are going to take a look at a sample of a writing by a particular candidate or a student. So when you look at it, you see how Wassce Neco are being marked. So let's look at the sample. This is a typical sample of an essay written by a candidate. I hope you can see that. And from here, some things are noted. We have rings, that is circles, in part of the essay. As you can see here, this candidate scores 24/50 in this particular write-up or essay. And this is the remaining part of it. As you can see, we have underlines, we have ringings in the essay. So on this particular essay, the comments on this essay, starting from the content, the candidates wrote on 3 good reasons and developed them quite well. Additionally, it met the 400-word limit, so it deserves an above average mark of a 6 out of 10 in the contents. So also when it comes to organization, the candidate was expected to write a letter, and he did so with almost all the features of informal letters there. His paragraphing was not done very well. However, he gets 6 out of 10 under organization as well. Expression. The candidates' wrong expressions are underlined, as you can see from the script. For instance, on line 3, he wrote a commonly mistaken expression like wrote me instead of wrote to me. I hope you can see that or you observe that. Notes, we don't write someone. That is another mistake there, but we write to someone. When you get to write me, something like that. So the candidate was not careful with wrong expressions and choice of words. He used inappropriate words like LIVE instead of LEAVE. Live and live. They serve different purpose. And in order to, instead of in order, the first order is OTH and second order is ORD. So the ORD is correct. He used doctor's advice. That is a verb instead of doctor's advice. Advice is different from advice. So he should use now instead of a verb. Another one is an attempt to instead of a decision to, or a thought of, or a plan to. In some parts of the letter, he expressed himself with never-ending sentences, which affect his expression. Expression attracts 11 marks out of 20. So, now to mechanical accuracy as pertaining the write-up or essay. The candidate was not careful with punctuation and spelling and the formation of a plural nouns and some others in the essay, and therefore lost all the marks, the 10 marks for mechanical accuracy. He made 22 mechanical accuracy related mistakes. So 22 mistakes equals 22 multiplied by half. The half of the rings equals to 11. So 10 minus 11 equals 0 for the mechanical accuracy. And more examples as pertaining the essay. One of the boys, not boy. The candidate wrote boy. One of the boys. We have many boys there, but one of them. Another one is one of my teachers, not teacher. Note that the expression one of my best students and one of the best students is wrong. It should have been one of the best students with S. And it is always one of plural noun or one out of many. Note, not one of singular noun or plural or one of them. And also note that it is wrong for the candidate to write his name as part of the address. That is, the writer's name must be avoided. So, the writing or inclusion of his name, Paul Nelson, if you can observe that, as part of the address, we attract a punishment by way of marks deduction. And some details on his mistakes on mechanical accuracy. In terms of grammar, the grammar in the address should be capital letter. Yes, it's proper noun, so it should be capital letter. And after every phrase of the address, a comma is needed, which he omitted. After April, there should be comma there, which he didn't. And where he wrote school, if he's going to shorten it, there should be full stop to show that it is abbreviated, then apply comma. Or you write in full. But in case there's no more space, when you put full stop, you apply comma. That is proper way of doing that. And after hello Tunde, an exclamation sign should follow instead of a comma, because hello indicates exclamation. So it should have been hello Tunde, then put in exclamation mark. He made a lot of spelling mistakes. One is witness without S, and inviting, he added E, and there shouldn't be E in inviting. So also demonstration, but he wrote demonstration. Preparing, and he added E in preparing where we have ing and some others. Then the word English as well as French or German should always begin with capital letter E. If French, F, and some others. Then the S for science should have been rather a small letter, not capital. Then prize giving is wrong. It should have been prize giving, zit. And nobody is supposed to be a single word, not two, as written by the candidates. And note that the places with the pointed arrow and the essay, it shows that omissions like words, comma, full stop are noted there. So many things about this. And another thing is mistakes underlined in the essay are counted against expression, and the ranked ones against mechanical accuracy. Even though a candidate is not penalized for exceeding the 400 or 450 word limits, the habit of writing a too lengthy essay is risky since too much time may be spent on the essay when you have some other things to do, and will eventually affect the time left for other questions. So this is how far we can go today about composition writing or essay writing. Essay of all sorts in Wassce, Ssce, GCE. I hope this is clear and understood. If you have any question, kindly drop it in the box below the video and I shall attend to it. As usual, do not forget to subscribe to the channel for many things to come, and also share the link, share the channel, enable your bell for notification, more videos to come, and thumbs up, thumbs up, and I'll be motivated to do more of this. Thank you very much for being there. Always keep safe. Corona is real. Thank you.